Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show. Ron Placone is here. Hi, Ron.
Hey, Jimmy.
So guess what? Bill O'Reilly's in a little bit of a hot trouble. Bill O'Reilly. Did you know Bill O'Reilly opposes gay marriage? Because he believes domestic abuse is something that should occur only between a man and a woman. Bill O'Reilly's in hot cheese. He refuses to let sexual harassment scandal distract him. He is not going to let this sexual harassment scandal distract him from lying on a whole host of other things. Bill's career used to be safe when he was just known for sexually harassing one employee and physically abusing his wife. But now he's in trouble. Things are happening. Did you hear? And he's losing advertisers, right? All these advertisers. In fact, the Bill O'Reilly show is decided to pull its advertising from the Bill O'Reilly show. That's how bad this shit has gotten. So there's the New York Timesy. It says Bill O'Reilly thrives at Fox even as harassment settlements add up. There's about $13 million has been paid out over the years to address complaints from women. $13 freaking million. Woo! Woo! That's some sexual harassing. That guy, woo! I don't understand sexual harassment. If you have that much money and you're willing to pay the women off afterwards, why wouldn't you just pay someone up front and just get a prostitute?
Yeah, it seems like that would make the most sense.
That you would have more dignity. Because listen to this story. I mean, so the guys have all the money in the world. Listen to this story. This is why. This will make sense. And by the way, I do not look down my nose at prostitutes. I'm not recommending it as a life choice, but I don't think they're less than as people.
No, but if you can afford it, why not just do that instead of being like
if you're going to be a creepy sexual harasser,
yeah,
it's like
why not just pay for it? And he
why
can
not
afford
help the economy?
high end, so yeah, I don't get it, Bill.
An investigation by the New York Times has found a total of 5 women who have received payouts from either Mr. O'Reilly or the company in exchange for agreeing not to pursue litigation or speak about their accusations against him. The agreement's $13 million frickin' dollars. 2 settlements came after. Get this. This is the thing that makes it interesting, sir. More interestinger. 2 settlements came after the network's former chairman, Roger Ailes, was dismissed last summer in the wake of a... So there's 2 more that came after Roger Ailes, and they've been keeping it under wrapsy, paying people off. The company said it did not tolerate behavior that, quote, disrespects women or contributes to that. Their whole show disrespects women. Their whole network is anti-women, anti-everything. Come on. I mean, they do have pretty women. They have some of the most attractive women in the world. They like to put them on and have them deliver the news. That happens everywhere now. Mm-hmm. Everyone's getting into the good-looking women. Is MSNBC doing that yet? Have they been going after the good? They have some very attractive women there. The women who made allegations against Mr. O'Reilly either worked for him or appeared on his show. They have complained about a wide range of behavior. I bet they have. I bet he's got a wide range of disgusting behavior. They have including verbal abuse, lewd comments, unwanted advances, and phone calls in which it sounded as if Mr. O'Reilly was masturbating.
Wow.
Now, the verbal abuse is bullshit. He got in trouble once before. The first thing he got in trouble for was for bitching out a female producer in the newsroom in front of other people. Now, while that might be uncouth and horrible and, rude, I don't think it rises to the level of harassment. I mean, you're allowed to, Mike Ditka would be in prison if that was a standard.
Right. Yeah,
every football coach, every basketball. So I get it. If you don't want to work in an environment where you have a hothead as a boss, I don't know if that's an actionable. You need to get the courts involved.
Right.
That my boss is a hothead. That's one thing. But if he's a sexual harasser, that's another thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Okay. The reporting suggests a pattern. There's a pattern. As an influential figure in the newsroom, Mr. O'Reilly would create a bond with some women by offering advice and promising to help them professionally. Oh, he's grooming them. Sounds like a groomer.
Yeah.
He then would pursue sexual relationships with them, causing some to fear that if they rebuffed him, their careers would stall. You know they would. That's just so weird. It's like, can't you just get a regular person outside of your work? Can't you use your money and your celebrity to go get a fan? You got to bang someone in your office? You got to intimidate someone in your office? You have to dangle a carrot in front of a woman in your office so you could get laid? You can't just get laid on your charm and personality. You have to use their job over them. That's worse than going to a prostitute. Way worse. Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, why wouldn't you just go get a regular person? Why do you gotta, what's that saying? Oh, don't shit where you eat. Don't shit where you eat. Yeah.
Right? What is that from a movie? Is it from Moonstruck?
I don't know.
But anyway, of the 5 settlements, 2 were previously known. One for about $9 million in 2000. Oh, we knew about this one. I knew about this one. $9 million in 2004 with a producer, and another struck last year with a former on-air personality, which the Times reported on in January. The Times has learned new details related to both those cases. For instance, Andrea Macris, that was the woman from 2004, she was then 31, filed a sexual harassment lawsuit against Bill O'Reilly. In the suit, she said he told her to buy a vibrator, called her at times when it sounded as if he was masturbating. Can you imagine doing that? Calling a woman you're not already in a relationship with and masturbating on the frickin' phone?
Andrea, this is Bill. Today's word, vibrator. You should buy one because I'm masturbating.
Because I'm masturbating. Like, what do you... Ugh. Bill O'Reilly, too. Ugh. He described sexual fantasies involving her. Mrs. Macris had recorded some of the conversations. Oh, that's why she got $9 million. Because she was smart enough to record one of those conversations. So it wasn't a he said, she said. Little did Bill O'Reilly know that was Mike McRae doing the voice. Ms. Macris also said in the suit that Mr. O'Reilly, who was married at the time, he and his wife divorced in 2011 like a good Catholic, threatened her, saying he would make any woman who complained about his behavior, quote, pay so dearly that she'll wish she'd never been born, end quote. And that sounds exactly like the kind of threats that he throws around left and right all the time. That sounds exactly like what he says. Fox News and Mr. O'Reilly adopted an aggressive, but she had the recording. That was the beauty. She had the recording, so that's why all the threats in the world, Bill. Fox News and Mr. O'Reilly adopted an aggressive, according to the New York Times, they adopted an aggressive strategy that served as a stark warning. You mean aggressive strategy? I mean, we're going to smear you and we're going to ruin your career if you tell anybody that we're creeps and that we're cretins. So they aggressive strategy that served as a stark warning of what could happen to women if they came forward with complaints. Current and former employees told the Times. That's what they said. Before Mrs. Macris ever filed suit, Fox News and Mr. O'Reilly surprised her with a preemptive suit of their own. In true douchebag style.
Yeah, no kidding.
Asserting she was seeking to extort $60 million in return for not going public with scandalous and scurrilous claims about him. This is the single most evil thing I have ever experienced, and I have seen a lot, he said on his show the day before both suits were filed. But these people picked the wrong guy. Turns out they didn't. Turns out they knew exactly who you were. And that's Bill bloviating and bluffing and all this. Oh, they picked the wrong. I will make your life a living hell. I will come at you with everything I got. These are the things he says. A public relations firm was hired to help shape the narrative in Mr. O'Reilly's favor, and the private investigator, Bo Dietl, was retained to dig up information on Mrs. Mac. Oh, my God. Talk about a cretin scum. Like, just take your lumps. Take your lumps. You sexually harassed her. Take your lumps. No, now I'm going to smear her. Ugh.
Megalomaniac. And what kind of public relations firm? I mean, Fox News is basically one big public relations firm as it is.
As it is anyway.
And they got a public relations firm. for their guy.
You got to go outside the house to get that?
Right?
The goal was to depict her. This is the goal of Fox News and Bill O'Reilly, was to depict her as a promiscuous woman, deeply in debt, who was trying to shake down Mr. O'Reilly. According to people briefed on the strategy, several unflattering stories about her actually appeared in the tabloids.
So there was a buyer somewhere.
Oh, well, you don't think Fox News could pull some strings on people that they owed favors to, or whatever? Or we could do something.
Yeah, especially with outlets having the same journalistic integrity as them. Like tabloids.
After 2 weeks of sensational headlines, the two sides settled, and Mr. O'Reilly agreed to pay Miss Macris about $9 million. The parties agreed to issue a public statement that had, quote, no wrongdoing whatsoever had occurred. Mrs. Walsh, the former guest on the O'Reilly Factor, told the Times that she was propositioned by Mr. O'Reilly in 2013, but did not lodge a complaint because she did not want to harm her career prospects. This is another woman. It's a different woman. Ms. Walsh said that she met Mr. O'Reilly for dinner, arranged by his secretary, at the restaurant at the Hotel Bel Air in Los Angeles. Nice hotel. During the dinner, she said he told her he was friends with Mr. Ailes and promised to make her a network contributor, a job that can pay several $100,000 a year. That's pretty nice. That's pretty sweet money. Mm-hmm. After dinner, she said Mr. O'Reilly invited her to his hotel suite. Miss Walsh said she declined. Trying to remain cordial, she suggested they go to the hotel bar instead. What happened then? Once there, she said he became hostile, telling her that she could forget any career advice he had given her and that she was on her own. He also told her that her black leather purse was ugly. Can't you get laid on your own? Do you have to dangle your position at work over someone to get laid? You're in frickin' Hollywood. You can't get laid by a person who's just an admirer. I mean, what the F? You can't just go get an equal and use your charm on someone to get laid. You have to intimidate women into having sex with you. That is about as low as it gets. That's one notch above rape.
That's pretty sad.
That's about as sad as it gets without being rape, right?
Yeah,
a blow-up doll, not as sad. Honest to God, I'm not kidding about that. A blow-up doll or one of those fleshlights, that's just a guy taking care of himself. You're not hurting anyone else in the process to get your nuts off. Mm-hmm. This guy's so desperate that he has to use his position at work. You won't get a job. Now fuck me. Oh, yeah. How could you have sex with someone who doesn't want to even have sex with you in the first place? It's just, it's so the opposite of what you would think you'd want to do in your life.
Well, if he's stuck with his fan base, it'd be hard for him to find a woman.
They're all like 80, right?
Yeah, they're all like 70 plus, so he probably is like, well,
that's what I'm saying. It's like, but still, go try to get a 50-year-old woman or a 40-year-old. Go try to get someone half your age and use your charm on her. Or maybe find someone who actually does want to F you for your money.
Yeah,
there's lots of them out there.
Some of that.
There's lots of them out there. There's a lot of women who would have sex with Bill O'Reilly for money. A lot of them.
Yeah, and for some it would just I'm sure there's some people it would just be a status thing. Like even though it's like he's Bill O'Reilly, he's a known racist, misogynist creep, but they're like, well, but he's famous.
He's famous,
so why not? I mean, people do that all the time.
All the time. In the case of O'Reilly, the woman, all of whom this is from CNN. All of whom who either worked for him or appeared on the show, told the same story, that O'Reilly would offer advice and promise to help them professionally, then pursue relationships with them. What a loser. In some cases, out of fear, they did not rebuff. So here's Bill O'Reilly. Here's what he had to say after Megyn Kelly said that he sexually harassed her. Here's what he had to say.
And finally tonight, the factor tip of the day, loyalty. This morning, James Patterson...
Tip of the day, loyalty. Oh, so how loyal were you to Megyn Kelly when you sexually harassed her?
I were on CBS this morning discussing Give Peace a Chance, when the conversation shifted into some problems the Fox News channel had earlier this year. I was not amused. I've got a country that's in a political transition. All right. I've got a kids book that I want millions of kids to look at. That's what I'm interested in, not making my network look bad.
But if your network is affected by it.
Excuse me, I feel a little
all right.
here.
Dore and I have.
Are you okay?
Why are you making it? I don't understand why you got to make a joke out again. Oh my God, There's a sexual harasser who's lying. He's trying to make me intimidated. Oh, look, I'm going to let him know it's totally working. I'm going to totally take the heat off of him. I'm going to goof around. I'm going to giggle. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it look. Can you sit there like a grown-up and make him answer the questions?
That reaction would have been appropriate if
you're a child.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That reaction would have been appropriate if the only news there was, I'm going to release a children's book. That would have been an appropriate reaction to Bill O'Reilly for that.
That would have been
like, that's creepy on so many levels.
That would have been appropriate if this was the Ellen show. That's not. This is CBS News that puts on this show. Am I wrong? Mm-hmm. Oh, CBS This Morning. Is that news? You would think she's a news person. Charlie Rose is a news person.
News-esque programming.
Newsy.
The subgenre.
Dore and I have known each other forever.
You guys don't want your
and we're Irish people.
Either.
So he gets to goof it all. Yeah, we're all goofing around.
And I felt the Irish heat, Bill O'Reilly.
And then they all just goof about it. Isn't that hilarious? You sexually harassed women. You intimidated them to have sex with you. Whoa!
Wild and crazy guy.
Crazy.
You know Bill on the weekends.
Right?
That's what
I made it clear.
I mean, look, it's open season. Let's whack the Fox News channel. I've had enough of it.
He's had enough of it.
He's tired of being the underdog over at Fox News.
I'm tired of people picking on us for sexually harassing women constantly. I'm tired of getting picked on for stuff we actually do. I'm tired of it.
It's a good place to work, all right? So here's the deal. If somebody is paying you a wage.
If somebody's paying... Now listen to this logic. If someone is paying you a wage and they sexually harass you...
You owe that person or company allegiance.
You owe them allegiance. You don't owe anybody anything because they're paying you? No, you know what you owe them when they pay you? You owe them work. You owe them work. That's what you owe them. Especially when it's a huge corporation. And especially when the huge corporation is filled with a bunch of sexual cretins who sexually harass the women they hire. That would be...
If you don't like what's happening in the workplace, go to Human Resources or leave.
Please leave after we sexually harass you. Get out of here.
And don't tell anybody.
And don't you say anything. He's talking about Megyn Kelly here.
I've done that. And then take the action.
He's done that.
When he's been sexually harassed. He goes somewhere else. That's why he left that TV station in Scranton or wherever it was he started.
These are the good Christians, though. These are the good Christians. You do remember, they're good. Roger A., they're all good about Christians and this and but the lefties are more immoral and they want the gay sex. We're good. They're all good people. They're all hypocrites. Anybody who's overly religious is a hypocrite. Anybody who's publicly like that, did you need this to know that Bill O'Reilly was a raging fucking maniac, sexual harassing hypocrite? Did you really need to know that, to have these stories come out to know that about him? Did you really need to know that about Roger Ailes or the whole goddamn culture over there, that they're all fucking messed up like that? Are you kidding? Anyway, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to see guys who moralize for a living. I don't moralize. I don't wag my finger at someone for being gay or going to a prostitute or whatever you want to do. I'm not that guy. I don't moralize if you get divorced. I don't moralize if you... I only point it out if you're one of those people who moralize and then you get divorced. If you wrap yourself in the Bible and wag your finger at other people for not being moral, and then you get divorced, and then you get caught sexually harassing people to the tune of $13 million. Then it's fun for us.
$7 million more, and he'll get a gold watch from the network, I think. I think that's what happens next.
I think that's what happens, right? How many more women do you have to sexually harass before you get a gold watch? Hey, our next live Jimmy Dore show is April 24th. April 24th, live in Burbank. We do 2 shows a month, live shows, so get your tickets right down there, jimmydorecomedy.com.